So I'm Jordan Betancourt.
Troy
Nancy.
Walker.
Thomas Saya.
Nancy.
Call me Tommy.
Tommy. Okay, and we're going to do our debrief right now for our sessions that we just did.
For our last mediation session.
For our last
I just want to say thank you, Broan, for being a cool teacher.
Yeah.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you. It's been a great semester.
It has.
Thank you. Okay. So, number one, provide a few short paragraphs summarizing the parties' initial positions and what you understood their needs burst to be at first. How did you develop that sense of parties' perspective, needs, and interests? So for us, I think it was just about listening to you guys fully as much as we could and trying to get as much information as we could out of you.
Yeah, we were really like defensive at first, like just really standing our ground.
As mediators.
Yeah.
Yeah. There wasn't much turbulence, you know? Like, it wasn't like you guys were fighting hard or anything, but we could tell that there was, like, frustration and, like, just misunderstanding within your guys' interactions because they weren't pleasant when you guys interacted at first.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
agree.
You guys want to add anything for you?
Yeah, I feel like it was like very hostile at first between you two. There was like a couple times you guys like blurted out and stuff, but I mean we handled those, and I felt like just like having you guys talk and just like get deeper into like why you feel that way and like why that like where it came from. I think that helped a lot finding your burst and like seeing all of the feelings. And like the emotions showed in the beginning, you know, but it like slowly like came out more why the emotions were there, you know. I think that's what was important to me in this session. I thought that was it helped us a lot more when we got the emotions out. What do you feel about it?
I feel that yeah, once everything kind of got out in the open, it was easier to pretty much follow along and just kind of work things out with each other. But yeah, when everyone's reserved and just kind of to themselves, it's hard to pretty much get to the root of the issue and just trying to get everybody to get on the same page, understanding the different backgrounds and different values that everyone has. That was definitely the main obstacle that I feel.
What do you feel is the most work to understand their burst and then convince them to meet the resolution?
YouTube, definitely.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I felt like you guys were.
We were
Like,
kind of nice
you guys were
about
like
it.
easier to work.
Yeah, I think we were more like relaxed. I felt like a lot of tension in the beginning. It was just like
For ours?
yeah,
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
because
for you
it's
too.
just like.
Yeah.
Attitudes.
Little attitudes. You're really stubborn, so like I was like,
She is
yeah.
stubborn.
So I
She's
was
hard.
just trying to like get you to understand like why we need to do things and like get you to understand him.
But
But
he
you're
made
just
you
like,
understand,
no, I don't want to
right?
understand. Like I don't want to know who he is. But like that's what was important about it, you know. And like
Yeah.
being stubborn at first, like it definitely like I was like I did not expect that. Like I did not expect that at all. So like that like kind of taught me a lot. Just like trying to.
It was a curveball, definitely.
It was,
but
yeah.
It was something that was needed because it was a learning process.
It was, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, getting you to understand was the hardest part, and then like the more along the burst was probably easier later. Like the respect, the trust that came with what is it? Shoot, that came like in the end, like when we started to like get to understand each other,
Yeah.
and like the safety. It was pretty safe, like
It was- yeah.
except for in the beginning a little bit. It was like there's a little bit toxic things here and there, but I mean I thought it was pretty safe.
We got handled like real quick.
Yeah.
Which is good.
We all
So it
really
didn't,
shut it down
like,
quick,
yeah.
for sure.
We did.
Definitely.
Okay, nothing else for that one. After finishing the mediations and talking about the case, debriefing together, are there any issues that you had difficulty discerning or drawing out from the parties? In other words, as a mediator, were you capable of getting the parties to discuss the full sum of their concerns and needs? Or were there some items that never really surfaced that may have impacted the final outcome of the session? Why, please? Well, for one, I feel like the script was kind of a little more, it didn't have too much detail as the prior ones, so I think it was, I think it was more easy for us to get as much as we wanted out because there wasn't too much to work with.
We're actually able to role play.
And yeah,
Just-
we really role played this time. And so, do you guys have anything else to add about?
Like you
anything
said,
that was
I mean, it was harder. I mean, as a mediator, I don't think it was hard to deal with all of
No.
it. But I think as like being the parties, it was definitely hard to like just like go along that. But as a mediator, I don't really think anything was too hard, honestly.
And then, what techniques might you try in the future with the benefit of additional practice and hindsight to try to surface those issues? For me, I would probably do a little more validating this time. I feel like I validated more last time. And this
Yeah.
time, I felt like we
Yeah.
could have validated a little
Yeah,
more.
definitely.
You guys were validating a lot.
I'm probably trying to like remember like small details
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
are like lost in between sentences. They can probably help out.
Definitely. For me, probably kind of like reframing. I feel like I did a little bit of reframing, but I feel like I can do it better next time. Just like moving towards like another thing that's like important, but yeah, that's probably one of the big ones that I want to work on.
Anything you want to work on?
Honestly, everything, because I feel like just I have a lot of improvement, you know,
Mhm.
to be made, a lot of improvement to make.
All of us do.
But yeah, I do want to focus more on just validation and then just kind of more controlling, crowd controlling. So
Probably like staying neutral also. I
Yeah.
feel like that's like one thing that I messed at the beginning, just staying neutral. As much as you try to side with one side,
It's hard.
it's like you have to stay right in the middle. It's
I felt myself like being like a little not neutral to I think it was you, and yeah, I don't know why, but
You should
like
know.
it slipped, and I was like, because the thing about neutrality is like, as long as you don't perceive us as or as if you perceive us as neutral, then we're neutral, but if like I don't know, I don't want to let anything slip because like I felt myself slip once.
personally, I did too, just because you were more open and she was kind of being more stubborn. So I'm just like, okay, I kind of felt myself being more on his side, but then it's like at the same time still trying to stay conscious. Like, no,
Yeah.
let me
I
listen
feel
to
like
her.
that's
Let
the
me
hardest
work on
part,
her.
just like staying neutral.
But
'cause
then
it's
trying
like,
to work
It
on
is,
you
yeah.
more, it's like I feel like I'm now not showing you enough attention.
Yeah.
So then it's like, all right, now I'm being more biased.
I feel like Tommy doesn't mess with the attitude though. He's just like, if you give me attitude, I'm gonna be with you. Know, I'm gonna be cool with him. But you did good too. Like you were able to take it, take the attitude.
Did it feel like I was like not neutral and sometimes?
No, I think it's just wording sometimes.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
It could
Any
be like
little
not
word.
me, but if it was someone else, I
Yeah.
could see them being like, I feel this way because of the way you worded it,
Yeah.
and now you're gonna talk to her more. And
I feel like
Yeah,
that's the
it's
thing,
that was
like,
the only
you have
thing,
to be
but, I
very
mean, we all do.
cautious about the words you
Yeah.
use. It's like you kind of have to think about it before you say it.
yeah, and that's why I was taking a lot of breaks too, because I was finding myself doing the same thing too, where I would be wanting to side more with maybe Tommy or you, and then I was like, wait, no, it has to be in the middle.
Right.
So it's a difficult thing.
And probably just like what we were saying about the two mediators, like it's hard to
It is
kind of
hard.
go off the other person.
Yeah.
Like as much as you want to address something,
Yeah.
like you have to go based off like the other person.
And then like yeah, you gotta like switch your thoughts to like
Yeah.
where the
or, like,
direction's
kinda hop on
going.
to,
Yeah.
like, their train of, like,
I know
what
what you
they're
mean.
saying.
You like I was like thinking like a bunch of stuff like when they were talking
was
and then
thinking
like
too,
and then you're like you said something and I'm like we had to go to a different direction.
Yeah,
I was like,
and then like
Hey,
I
that
would
was
want to say
off.
something,
Yeah,
he'd be like,
it
okay, well,
does.
party two, and I'm just like, no, I'm trying to say something, but okay.
It's like you say,
Aw, I
you think
should've
it's something
said
like
something.
when they say something that triggers something, it's like, all right, we're going this whole direction right here.
I know.
But then it's like,
It's
you
like
might be
psych.
thinking something different because he might say something.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, well, I want to go in this direction. It's like, man, so now we need to collaborate.
Yeah, exactly.
But then it's hard to collaborate in front of a mediation.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, because I feel like collaborating like in front of like
It's like
while
we
you're
need a
mediating
caucus.
like that. Yeah, I don't know. It wouldn't be neutral. I feel like I don't know. You just see like our bias if you were to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
Okay.
covered most of that.
So, what skills did you find yourself using most comfortably, and why?
For me, I feel like I validated a lot. I feel like I tried to get the burst out of you guys like a lot. Like I tried to get like to the bottom of how you guys were feeling. So So I thought those were good.
I feel like just trying to just make sure that both of you guys are like understood that no one was forced to be here. You guys were both here, you know, your own will, and that the whole point of coming here was to try to understand each other. So I think just really just focusing on the understanding part.
Yeah, I think for me it was just about making it clear that it was for the benefit of you two,
Right.
not for me and Nancy.
Yeah.
Right.
You know.
I think we
Definitely.
said that like 3 times. We're like, you know, we're here at the end of the day because of you.
But sometimes it's
Yeah.
necessary when emotions are running high and you have to reiterate, you know, and then you give the worst case scenario too. So I think that's important as well.
Definitely.
Dude, you kept saying we're here for the kids. That's like we're here for you guys as well. But it's like I didn't know how to address
I had
that.
to play the role of the mom.
Right, I know,
I
but
was
that's
like,
what I'm saying. But I
okay.
didn't know how to address that because like, I'm not gonna say no, you're not here for the kids. It's like you're here for the kids as well, but you're also here for.
I feel like if you would have
guys as neighbors.
said that, it would have like
You would've
just
went
thrown
back.
everything off. Like
Exactly.
okay, like
That's what I'm saying.
Cry.
So it's like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Like it would have been like, okay, now the mediator's gonna be him, and the issue was like us
Hey.
three.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly. No, but real
Yeah.
talk. That's why I didn't
Yeah.
mention it.
No,
because
but that
you
was a
could've-
good practice that you didn't, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably would have messed up your neutrality.
A lot.
Yeah. But I feel like
You're good.
I think we all did well at active listening. Like we all acknowledged when we like heard people speaking.
To a point.
To an extent. To an extent. I mean, we dozed off here and there, but I mean, I think I tried at least to like nod, you know, and like make sure you see it. She was listening.
Sure.
But I mean, if you were listening, it was okay. But
Flash
I know.
the Thomas meme.
No, like, I
On the screen.
turned around like and I was watching TV and I was like,
No.
okay.
You know what? To be
I know, my eyes were
fair,
just
for the
dozing.
record, we're in a library.
Yeah.
And like people are coughing, people are farting, no, people are running around, and so it is easy for us. We have a TV on in front of us.
He
and
was
it's
Yeah.
easy
watching
for
a
us.
TV. I was like,
No, it's easy for us to be like, you know. I think in an actual
My eyes just
environment,
wandered,
would be-
right?
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's something that's very important. Active listening, eye contact. I think we tried to do well, the best of our abilities. But
plus it's late, so all of us
yeah.
were zoning out. We were yawning and stuff.
Definitely yawning.
Hey,
I am
let me
guilty
take
of
you
I
out.
would,
Yeah,
no, yeah, I
I
wish
was
you were on and
yawning
yawning.
too.
And be like,
I'm sorry.
I couldn't
Okay.
turn around because then it would just be more obvious. So turn around yawning. It was like, oh.
Okay, ready to move on?
Right.
What skills or active listening tools did you find difficult to employ? What is your future strategy for using those tools?
we just kind of talked about that.
Yeah, we just addressed that.
We could talk about it again. Just like we said, like not dozing off.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we had just distractions.
Stay neutral.
Yeah, staying neutral.
I think if we were working with people that we did not know, we would be like,
More on edge
Yeah,
about
we'd be
everything. But
more
I feel
on
like since
edge.
we're hella comfortable with each other, we're
Yeah.
like
because we know each
giggling
other,
and
it's a
stuff like
little
that.
easier for us to be like, you know. But I think if put in the position, all of us, I wouldn't want to be in the position, but I think all of you guys would be able to handle yourself as a mediator and control the room and all
Definitely.
that. If you
Yeah.
wanted to go down
I
that.
agree. I agree. Everyone. Yeah. Everyone has that ability. Definitely.
Yeah, I feel like a key thing for like active listening is definitely like acknowledging like that you're listening and like what's the word?
Kind of restating what they're
Yeah,
saying.
exactly. That's what I was trying to say.
The I
Yeah.
messages,
Yes.
the reframing. Yeah.
Just showing that you hear them and validate them, you know, like that's very important to like the party and like how they're feeling, you know, because if they don't get validated, then you're not gonna solve anything. You're not gonna go anywhere in the mediation.
Okay, please elaborate on any special difficulties that were encountered during the session. I think just the script was really.
Yeah, the script.
Really
We had to add
trying
on a
to
lot.
like come up with details regarding it.
Yeah,
Like,
we kind of like made up backstories and stuff. It was kind of hard.
And I don't think we knew it was that
Like,
dense
probably
until we
trying-
started doing it.
with us,
real
it's
life.
like trying to stay serious.
Who?
Because it's like we're just coming up with like
Yeah,
details.
I know, I didn't even know
we're
what
like,
occupation was,
snap, like,
so I was like-
As you say it to YouTube.
You
I, know, I was
like,
laughing when I heard that.
I
was
know,
like,
too.
They
I-
sound like an influence. I like you like YouTuber, yeah.
I was like, yeah, I know.
when he said, I was like, oh.
He's
I'm like,
just
I influence people.
I'm just
And
dying.
Tommy was just like,
Hey, we're trying to help.
I was
Thank
trying
you,
not to
thank you
giggle,
so
but I
much.
had to.
But then I would see him giggling and I would start giggling like, no.
Yeah, but I think again, if it was people we don't know,
Yeah.
we would
No,
be
yeah,
of
it'd
course,
be a lot more
definitely.
serious.
Yeah.
A lot
Oh my
more
gosh,
serious,
you know,
yeah.
pressure's on. The pressure wasn't on today too, so we
A little
were
bit.
slacking off.
Should I stop it?
Attention, the library will close to the public in 30 minutes. Please check out all your materials now. After 9, the library will only be available to SSU and CSU students with current student IDs. Library hours have been extended for students for 24 hours. Once again, the library will close to the public in 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Okay, we're
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Okay. How would you does anyone want to add anything else to the special
I'm
difficulties?
good with that one.
Okay.
No, we're good.
How would you characterize the mood of the parties on the beginning of the mediation? How did that mood make you feel as a mediator? And what did you address the parties? What did you do to address the parties' emotions and your emotions
I feel like the party's
at the beginning?
attitude in the beginnings was it was tense.
Very tense.
But I feel like that was pretty good though, because it kind of makes you, it makes you go back to all the lessons that you learned and basically how to troubleshoot this, how do you approach this, what steps do you need to take.
You guys handled the poison immediately too,
Yeah.
which was really good. And that was
I
like a
feel,
good
I feel like
test.
offering the caucus was really important because like when all that like poison was coming out, like I was about to like just break it out and just do the caucus, but giving them like the chance to like do it themselves if they wanted, I think that was important.
I feel like I kind of said it too many times. I think
I
twice should
think
have
it
been
was
enough.
good. I think it was good because like we were very sassy and like attitude was up there and like it was very just tension. So to keep like reiterating it was good. It was like, okay, you guys don't have to hear each other. You guys can step out. You know, you can all get handled. So I think you did good.
The one thing I did like about having two mediators was that we were able to like, you could talk to him and then I could like talk to you. Because like when you guys were like going at each other, like I feel like as one mediator it's a little bit harder to control that, but as two is a little bit better.
Because then again, then it's more like,
Okay, why are you siding with
yeah,
them?
having
exactly.
two mediators, and it is kind of like you do have somebody on your side, and you have somebody on your
Exactly.
side.
It
So that
worked
kind
well.
of did take out the neutrality, I guess, because even though we would interact or you two interact, it's still like you have somebody in your corner, you have somebody in your corner. So,
Yeah. And that has to do with empathy, you know, being
Yeah.
empathetic. Like I did feel the empathy, and I'm sure she felt the empathy too.
Right.
So then we were more inclined to open up a little more. But I think as soon as